Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So, woke up and said, there's some news from last night that I should have recorded another video for, but just didn't have time. So I'm going to give it to you today. Walmart finally beats Amazon to the punch and says that they are indeed working to make it so that their customers can pay via crypto. Now, normally I wouldn't say anything like that. I wouldn't bring up Amazon with regard to that, but Amazon and Walmart have been going back and forth for a long time, right? Walmart being the footprint store, Amazon being online, Walmart trying to step up its online game because they were late to get there. Well, this is something that could actually step up that space. If you have more people that are willing to purchase with crypto, that might open you up a bit. Plus, as convenient as Amazon is, people really are starting to see that there is a monopolistic kind of, tendency with that space. I find it interesting that Walmart has come to the head with this. So Suresh Kumar, their CTO, made the announcement and said, yeah, we're definitely working toward that. It's going to be a big part of Walmart's future. Wow. Which begs the question, when is Amazon going to get there? Amazon has more than enough money, more than enough engineers, more than enough time to actually get that done. They can probably get it done faster since that's one of the spaces they concentrate on. So it's going to be interesting to see how that rivalry plays out. Now, something else I wanted to bring to light. I spoke about Credit Suisse, I think last week. They've already laid off about 6,000 people, I think of 40,000. So now they're down to 32. That's a very big deal. You also have them liquidating a ton of assets, just so they can become more liquid. I'm expecting more from out of Credit Suisse. I'm expecting more layoffs, right? That was round one. Let's just say I'm expecting minimum a round two. Really depends on how much they can get for those assets, how fast they can stabilize things. But there are going to be a lot of people from Credit Suisse pounding the pavement when this is all said and done. Something else people should be paying attention to is Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is not in a good place at all. It's very similar to where Credit Suisse is, just not quite as bad, but bad. They're also dealing with a redundancy discriminatory suit. They fired a woman, an older woman who had a job. I guess there was a redundancy in that. And she's saying, listen, it happens all the time. Women are the first to go. And she's taking them to court. That's not a good look in a company, in a bank that's, going down. The Deutsche Bank's stock is plummeted. Of course, Credit Suisse did too. But these are two events that people should be paying attention to. I think the reason why there's a liquidation of assets with Credit Suisse is because they actually own 8.6% of the Zurich Stock Exchange. So that's something to pay attention to. So I think they're trying to liquidate before they actually go out. At least that's my humble opinion. That's my research. And I say this because they have tentacles into a lot of other places. And people, you should pick up on that. Something else that's not great going on is the SEC shot down WisdomTree's application for a spot Bitcoin ETF. To be expected. But it's October and it was filed for in January. Everybody knew they were going to shoot it down, but it took you 9 months to get there. Really? It took you 9 months. And it always takes them a long time. It always takes them a long time, and you have to stop and say to yourself, well, why is it taking so long? It's not like this hasn't been done before. It just hasn't been done, with crypto before. But if you're going to shoot it down, and you can say, well, we're shooting, and just think about the reason. The reason why they shot it down was because they said that the digital asset industry is prone to market manipulation. Well, didn't you know that in February, March, April, May? I mean, just a long time ago, you could have used that excuse then. It's a tactic to say, well, we're going to take a long time, we're going to bury it, and by the time we say no, it'll take a long time for you to take us to court. Well, Grayscale's taking them to court. I'll be shocked if WisdomTree doesn't follow suit. And this is on the heels of the SEC's chairman, Gary Gensler, receiving a letter from John Hickenlooper saying, hey, look, listen, do your freaking job. Don't know what your job is? Here's what your job is. Please go do it. If you don't know who Senator Hickenlooper is, please just go look him up. Just go look him up. He's a very pragmatic man. He's a very, very pragmatic man. So for him to send that kind of a letter was a big deal. A bigger deal than what most people are going to understand. Way big deal. Way. So when I look at all this, I just kind of go, how long is it going to be before internal strife, Hester Pierce, an SEC commissioner, is alleging that the SEC does not really, let people, help people become aware of laws that are on the books with regard to NFT promotion, crypto promotion. So they're not in the know until somebody comes knocking on the door and says, hey, by the way, we're going to take you to court. We're going to sue you for doing something that you thought you didn't do wrong. Yeah, I see how that works. I mean, just look at Kim Kardashian. Literally, she got paid $250,000. She said it was an ad. She did the ad, and she got sued for $1.26 million. She had to pay that out. Now, don't get me wrong. She's a billionaire. She can afford to pay it out. But the question is, should she have had to pay it out? I sit there and I just kind of go, no. And then where the hell did they get that number $1.26 million? Not 1.25, the 250 that she got paid plus a fine of $1 million. No, 1.26. Just Gary Gensler needs to go. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Gary Gensler needs to go. Right? I mean, there's just a lack of consistency. There's a crazy lack of transparency. And I really do wonder, why he's doing all this. Like, what is his driving force behind all this? I just don't understand. A lot of people don't understand. You have people outside of the SEC saying that you're not doing a good job. You have people inside the SEC saying that you're not doing a good job. And aside from, and these aren't regular people. These are people, with means, people with power, people saying, hey, look, listen, what are you doing? We're not saying that it's not a good, practice to enforce the law. Most of us, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, it would be freaking nice to know what the laws are that are going to be applied before you decide to take somebody to court. A little bit of transparency, a little bit of education can go a really long way. Really long way. That brings me to Texas. And Texas is a very hardline state when it comes to crypto. Very hardline state when it comes to crypto. Them in New York, top of mind when it comes to what are the hardline states in that space. Well, they're investigating FTX US. Why? Because apparently there was a commissioner who said, okay, let's we're considering this whole Voyager deal, whatever. Let's go take a look at FTX US. Well, apparently a transaction happened. Allegedly, I mean, we need more information, but allegedly a transaction happened, and this commissioner was able to, earn interest. That's a security. Wait, what? So then they're saying that it happened without KYC. Know your customer. Not enough, information there. Bad practice. I don't know what the details are. I do know that Texas is a hardline state. I'm not getting paid by FTX or any other exchange out there, but I do know that these exchanges that are operating in the United States have to jump through many, just a ridiculous number of hoops. So if a mistake was made, I'm pretty sure they'll go correct it. But I also just want to know, was there actually a mistake? Because the allegation is that they were poor KYC practices. And I'm just saying, I've been in the financial industry. I've done KYC, been involved with those kinds of projects, or at least, been involved with projects that touch on KYC where we have to abide by KYC rules. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just saying to myself, well, what really happened? How much information did they not know or not give for this transaction to happen? Like, was it really that? So yeah, Texas is so hardline that yes, I question everything about it. And that's unfortunate. Texas is a hard state for any exchange to operate in. So is New York. And I think it's going to come back to bite both of those states in the butt in a major fashion. It's going to come back to bite both of those states in the butt, because the amount of money they could be making with regard to the taxes from the crypto industry is a ridiculous amount. They're going after the crypto industry more than they're going after the financial industry, which cracks me the hell up. So I think changes are necessary. I think whoever becomes governor next in New York, because there is an election coming up, I think that governor needs to understand what kind of impact it will have to be such a hard line against crypto. It's bad. New York's losing business, just for instance, is losing business to California because California has better regulation around the space. New York just says no. How is that helpful? And I don't mean just the exchange. I mean all the way down to the freaking offerings that the exchange can give. So Coinbase operates in New York, and there are certain coins you can't get just because you're in New York. Like what? How are those rules made? There needs to be a better take on this, right? I mean, even the EU is asking the US to step up. The European Union's chief financial officer stepped up and came to the United States and spoke to Capitol Hill, politicians on Capitol Hill, to say, hey, look, listen, we need you to be a part of this conversation about, the regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. We need you to step up. I want you to think about this. The longer it takes, the more broader reach that crypto has, the harder it's going to be to actually implement a stringent framework. I think that there comes a point where you need to say, well, we're either going to work with the crypto industry or we're not. And we probably need to. Just saying, we need to get to that space, get to that point. Crypto industry is not going anywhere. It's going to be here. You have the financial industry that recognizes that. That should have been the first freaking clue, right, for the United States government. Just saying. Now, something else positive that's happened is that Paxos has partnered with Mastercard. Now, people are saying that, Mastercard has partnered with Paxos to offer crypto services to banks, so banks can now get more people involved in crypto and help people get over the fear and help with adoption. They'll bill it as a Mastercard deal. It's not. It's a Paxos deal. They did the same thing in Brazil with BitPay. What is it? BitPay? PicPay. Sorry, with PicPay. And they just did it in June with PayPal. And now they're doing it with MasterCard. Why? Because it's easier to work with MasterCard to get into all the banks, because that's where MasterCard is, than it is to go to each bank by itself. It's a Paxos deal. It's a very smart deal. Now, don't get me wrong, it's very smart for MasterCard as well. But it's a very smart deal for Paxos. Now, something that I'm still paying attention to is the fact that it's going to be great when all of these financial institutions make it easy for people to on-ramp, money into crypto, right? It's great. But as more and more places like Walmart, like other retailers that are out there, start to accept crypto, it'll be easier for me to say to my boss, hey, can you just pay me in crypto instead of paying me in cash? That'll be interesting. That's going to happen. That is going to happen. NYDIG does crypto payroll for the New York Yankees. Yes, NYDIG is not doing so hot either. They sent a whole bunch of people to go pound the pavement, but that is one of the deals that they have on the table. So on-ramping your cash into crypto is going to be something. Then that other leg of, can you just pay me in crypto, is going to be another that opens the door to companies like NYDIG to provide those kinds of services to businesses. I think what else is going to wind up happening is people are going to start to realize, I don't need a bank to manage my crypto. So that'll open the door and open up the floodgates to adoption. But I think as more and more people realize, I'm paying you to do what when I can do it myself? Unlike cash. Okay, mind you, it's unlike fiat in that I can hold my crypto, in a phone, in a cold wallet. I can hold my crypto because I've memorized my keys. Can't do that with fiat. Can't do that with fiat. That's the big difference. But that is the big difference. That's why people are running around panicking. Is because crypto really does give the power back to the people. I can manage my own money and not have to stuff it in my mattress. There you go. So crypto's been doing well. People are going to be looking at Matic, by the way. I was looking at Matic. I've been paying attention. Whatever I hold on to, whatever I'm holding on for dear life, whatever I'm invested in, I pay attention to. Little news here, little news there. There's little news about Polygon and working with, a Korean company to move Web 2 gamers into the Web 3 space, all that good stuff. Polygon's been making a little bit of noise. And if you've been paying attention, I said it, I've been starting to say it last week. Polygon hit a point and then dropped, and they've been slowly inching their way back up. And what does that mean? It means we should be getting to the numbers now. That's what that means. So fear and greed index is at 22, still within that extreme fear space. So, okay, I just like giving this number so you kind of have an idea about where the sentiment is, just an idea. But what we do see in my inner band, which is marked by the green lines here, and my outer bands marked by the blue lines here, right? Bitcoin is quietly moved back up to within my inner band. And that's a big deal because my trigger is at 22,013, and then I have another trigger at 23,014 before we get to 25,000. Those are the spots that I'm looking for. On the way down, you have my trigger at over here at about 19, there you go, about 19.3, 19.4, and then my bottom for that is 17.6. So those are all things that I pay attention to as I continue to watch Bitcoin move throughout the market. But again, look at this. It's moving sideways. Again, moving sideways and having peaks and valleys. Now, Bitcoin has not been giving a lot of, way to making money with those peaks and valleys, but other coins have. We see you Ethereum. We see you, Ripple. We see you Cardano, which has been dropping like a freaking rock, but it seems to be settling down at 36 cents. Not sure why it's dropped. Nothing bad has happened. Nothing bad has happened for Cardano, only good stuff. So is it that Cardano needs sexier projects? They need to get that word out there about the sexier projects that are on there? Possibly. But this morning when I woke up, just going to put this out here, Matic was at 83 cents. It's at 86 cents now. Just saying. I'm paying attention to that. There are others that I'm paying attention to. SHIB is down, but getting its way back up. I did buy some when it added a zero. So when it was at 0.9, I was able to buy, and now it's at 10. This is why I pay attention every morning. Maybe once, twice, 3 times, all the time. I pay attention to where those things are moving. Again, do your own research. Understand what projects you're interested in and take a deep dive into doing that research for each one of those projects. Go back, look for news about what they've been doing, and check out the communities that are backing those projects, how they move, who owns most of the coin. Is there one person that owns most of the coin, or is it, truly community based? Just saying, there are things that are going on. Now, something else I want to touch on real quick. There's this new Atos spinoff, not a spinoff, but it basically got ejected from Meta, and they launched. Not doing all that great. They were in the news, and I'm just wondering, okay, so what's the big deal? What's so special about Atos that, Aptos or Atos, I forget what the name is. I think it's Aptos. But whatever. What's so special about it? What's so special about that project that other projects are not doing? Other layer ones, layer twos, what are they doing that those other projects are not doing? Explain, Lucy. For those people that understand that, that's I Love Lucy from back in the day. Explain. I don't get it. So I don't understand why there would be so much hype and so much press release around it and all that good stuff. I'm not seeing utility. Do they have a specific utility? Ripple does. Ripple's got a side chain that's EVM compatible, Ethereum compatible. That would be a big deal for Ripple, right? Big deal for their ledger. Okay, that's interesting because Ripple's been doing a lot of stuff. They do have clear utility. Just trying to understand about other things. So that's my research, me and my kids. That's what we do. We dive into those things. All right. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Absolutely hit the notification bell so that you know every single time I drop a new video. And don't forget to tell your friends. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.